Welcome back. You're probably not coming back from anything, but you might be. I am re-recording the 6 foundational principles of lasting health. This is round number 3. I've been having technical issues, so I went ahead and bought a business package of Loom. Hopefully it works out. If it doesn't, I might be throwing this computer into my wall and quitting everything I do on the internet. But for now, for the greater good of health, wellness in this planet, and my intention of connecting the world to themselves, the land, and others, I am giving it another college try. And by God, I think it's going to work. So, why are the foundational principles of health so important? You cannot build a house on a rotten foundation. And that's what the foundational principles of health are. If you have a rotten foundation in your house, it's going to fall. There's no point in rebuilding the roof. There's no point in building a second story. There's no point in remodeling your house until you fix the foundation. And the same thing goes with health. If you have any symptoms, chronic pain, chronic headaches, migraines, you're not sleeping, digestive problems, it all does come back to the foundational principles of health. Those foundational principles, I'm going to get in each one in depth, but they all start with a choice, and you have to choose. First, you're choosing to listen to this. Then you have to choose to implement them into your life. There is a saying that it goes something like this. You have to entertain the body long enough for it to heal itself. So when you come back to these foundational principles, when you take the toxins out of your body, when you take the processed foods out of your body, when you start sleeping, breathing, hydrating correctly, you are entertaining the body to heal itself. You're getting out of the way. When you're constantly putting things in your body that are impacting you negatively, you're going to inhibit your body's ability to heal. Nature, including humans, are always coming back to a place of healing. It's only when we get in the way of that becomes prohibited. When you start living by these foundational principles, you're going to restore your energy. You're going to find balance. You're going to find your own self-healing capacity. They are simple. They are simple, they are simple, they are simple. Just like a game of golf. You take a simple ball and put it in a simple hole. Now, that process is not always linear, and it's not always directly that easy. Sometimes you have things like the wind. Sometimes you have some allergies. Sometimes the crowd is loud and distracts you. There's all sorts of different variables that arise, and that's why I laid out this PowerPoint to help direct you. They need to be consistent. It can't be, I eat healthy for a week and then I go binge. Or I start a movement practice and then I fall off and I go lay on the couch instead of doing my practice. You have to be consistent. And when that consistency starts adding up, life's change. Your life will change. About 5 years ago, I had an extremely chronic pain in my neck, potentially herniated. That's what we believe, but I never actually got it x-rayed or tested. After about 6 hours of doing assessments one day with my coach, Nicole, up in Salt Lake City, who is a phenomenal practitioner, Nicole Devaney, she's a faculty member of the Czech Institute. After all these assessments, she went through my whole body. What she said is I had to get rid of gluten. Now, after doing all this work, to think that the issue was gluten, it didn't land directly. But after a couple months of being in pain, there was enough motivation to change. I stopped eating gluten. I also read a couple books. No Pain, No Gain, Wheat Belly were a couple of them. And after a couple months of removing gluten from my body, the pain for the most part went away. Now, I didn't really realize it because as you start healing, you also start leveling up, if you will. You don't necessarily notice the shifts until you go backwards. So I was driving up the Oregon coast, beautiful landscape, and I came across a restaurant. I was hungry and I wanted fish and chips. I ordered them, didn't really think twice about it, but I knew there was gluten in it. And about 10 minutes after I ate that gluten, my neck pain was back immediately. I was bloated, I felt like crap, and I knew the impact of gluten in that moment. And I went on about a 4-year stretch, hardly eating it. Every once in a while I'd slip up, but for the most part, I was gluten-free and my neck pain went away completely. So never underestimate the potency and the power of these foundational principles when applied consistently. These principles are your mindset, your breathing, hydration, nutrition, movement, and sleep. They are so important. I can't say it enough. Whenever there's an issue, find where you're out of balance. These principles are like a bike spoke, a bicycle wheel. Each principle like a spoke. When one of those spokes are broken or bent, there's a weakness. If you've ever driven down the road with a flat tire or a tire with a spoke broken, you notice that it's very clunky. It's not a smooth trip. And that's what happens. That's basically a symptom. So if you have a headache, like I said, or digestive problem, where is that spoke bent? That is the same sort of metaphor. We're going to start with mindset. Like I said before, it is a choice. It has to come from within. It has to come from your decision that you want to get healthier. It can't come from anywhere else. I'm sure we've all known somebody that we saw that if they made this one shift, their life would be so much better. Whether it was quitting drinking, whether it was changing their diet, moving more, whatever it is, we knew that if they made this change, their life was going to be better. And we tried to get them to change and we couldn't do it because that change had to come from their own decision making. Your thoughts are so powerful. Your thoughts become your beliefs become your actions, and your actions become your reality. Your thoughts and beliefs are always changing. It's easy to get attached to a thought process and it's easy to get attached to a belief, but I like to think of it as clouds in the sky. They are ever changing. They're constantly flowing, they're constantly moving, and they are never concrete. And that's how we need to relate our thoughts and our belief systems. And that might be a big or esoteric thought process right now, but just become aware of how you think and what your belief systems are from those thoughts. Is your thought process negatively impacting you? When something happens to you, do you take it personal or do you take it as an opportunity to shift, change, and grow? If somebody cuts you off in traffic, are you angry for the rest of the day? Or do you wipe that off like a duck shedding water after getting out of the water? It's your choice how you respond. Are you responding or are you reacting? When you are reacting, you're going to be in a place of stress. You're going to be a place of fear. You're always going to have unresolved emotional drain, which is going to drain your energy. So, how do you align with your purpose? Why are you going to make a shift in your life? What is your North Star? What is directing you? If you don't have these handrails in place that guide you towards your larger purpose, it's going to be really hard to make a larger shift in your life. The only reason somebody makes a change in their life is because of motivation or desperation. Desperation comes from a place of constantly being sick, constantly being in a place of pain and not knowing what to do. There comes a point when you have to make changes and you'll do anything to do that. But if we catch it early enough, if we have a dream that's large enough, if we know what our North Star is, we're going to be motivated enough to make these changes. So every time you have an option to make a decision, what choice are you making? Are you making an optimal choice that is most beneficial for you, most beneficial for your family, your friends, the people that care about you in life? Or are you making a suboptimal decision that maybe in the short term it's beneficial to you, but you know in the long term it's going to hinder you? That's like a night out drinking or a McDonald's cheeseburger. It might taste good in the moment, but you know you're going to feel like crap. You know tomorrow you're going to be hungover and the day is going to be hard to get going and accomplish anything. Now, sometimes you need more time to make a choice and you do nothing. You choose to do nothing until you have an adequate amount of information to make an optimal choice. There's also indifference. Now, indifference in a way is it's a place where you just allow everything to happen and you don't care about how it the outcome. This can be the most stressful in the long term. It's, if you go to a restaurant and you allow people to order food for you and it's not what your body actually wants, but you eat it because you just allow somebody to order it for you, that's going to be extremely stressful. So how do you get a little bit of meat in the game, if you will, and choose what decision is going to be best for you? Simple practices. Gratitude. Gratitude is a phenomenal practice of coming into the present and shifting your perspective. When you have a bill to pay or rent to pay, how do you go from I have to pay this to I get to pay this? This rent allows me to live in a house with shelter and I feel protected and safe. A practice to continue with gratitude can be as simple as taking a moment before dinner, pausing before a meal, speaking gratitude to that food. It could be journaling, writing every day 2 or 3 things you're grateful for. Put that up on the refrigerator so you see it every day. Journaling also could come in a stream of consciousness practice. So every day, just take 5-10 minutes and allow whatever's in your mind to then go on the paper. It's very simple. It's a way to get in the present moment and just move whatever thoughts are in your brain. Move those stories out of your head into the paper so then you can move forward in your day. Breathing. I talk about breathing in nauseam. It is so important to have a proper breathing mechanism. Most people, 98% of people that come into my office have a chest breathing pattern. The only people I've ever seen come into my office that had a proper breathing pattern are people that have done Rolfing work before, singers and martial artists. I've also heard people that smoke a little ganja occasionally, but I haven't seen that personally in my practice. What does the chest breathing do? Chest breathing keeps you in a sympathetic state, which is a fight or flight response. When you're chest breathing, your secondary muscles are the main muscles that function, which are your scalenes, your SCMs, your pec minors, your neck muscles, which is going to adjust your posture. If your breathing pattern is out of alignment, your body is going to adjust to do whatever it can to get you in a postural alignment that allows for more air to come into your body. It's almost like you're micro suffocating. What that does is ultimately puts you in a chronic pain state, which then is an extreme energy expense on your system. What I want to invite you to start doing is having diaphragmatic belly breaths. So when you're properly breathing from the diaphragm, it's going to support your digestion. It's going to support your detox. It's going to help you get in a rest and relax parasympathetic state. When you're breathing in your chest, you're going to have a hard time digesting. You're going to have a hard time detoxing. You're going to have a hard time relaxing in the long term. So every night, right before bed, just take 5-10 minutes, lay on your back, put a hand on your belly, a hand on your chest, and breathe into your belly. 3/4 into your belly, 1/3 into your chest, doing everything you can to not engage your neck muscles. Another practice is box breathing. So what box breathing is you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold on the exhale for 4 seconds. This is going to help your nervous system relax and come into a parasympathetic state. You can do this throughout the day or one time a day for a couple minutes. Just allow yourself to take some time and do box breathing. You'll see the benefits immediately. Hydration. We all know the importance of hydration. It is the root of life. We've been told since we were kids that we need to drink 8 glasses of water a day. When we are chronically dehydrated, that's going to inhibit our ability to digest. When your food goes through the digestive system, it extracts the extra fluid from your stool back into your body. Now, if you're dehydrated, it's only going to do that twice as much. And it will also pull what normally would be excreted out of your body. So you're recycling toxins in the name of hydration. You can imagine how stressful that is in the long term. How do you drink properly? This is something that we're not really taught. First of all, clean water. This is the most important thing. If you're drinking tap water, you're drinking a high level of toxins that are added into the water to filter it. If you're interested in what exact toxins are in your municipality's water, go to ewg.org, the environmental working groups. They will tell you exactly the threshold of the toxins that they use, the chemicals they use to filter your water, sterilize it, and what level yours is at. So there's a threshold, and then every municipality tends to be higher than that threshold. You'll see it upwards of 250 times higher. If you're drinking that every single day, that's going to accumulate into ultimately problems. So clean filtered water. I use a gravity fed water, Greenfield water. Greenfield Solutions is a great place to get more information. Water is Life is a website by Isabella Friend. She has immense amount of information if you want to go deeper. And the best water is local spring water. So there's a website called findaspring.org. It's going to tell you where the closest spring is. This water is the best because it's mineralized. It has been coming through the soil for hundreds of years, and it is getting the minerals that your body needs. Gravity-fed filters are great, but what they don't do is remineralize your water. You get what I'm saying. So it's important to add some minerals to your water, whether it's a pinch of salt or some, you can get trace minerals as well. Ideally, you're drinking half your body weight in ounces per day, which is 200, for me, I'm about 200 pounds, so 100 ounces. That's about 3 liters. And ideally, you drink it slow throughout the day. If you chug water, it's going to flush minerals out of your body. Your body's not going to be able to process it. Your body can only process a certain amount of water at a time. So it's about 16 ounces per hour. I've also heard about 1 ounce per minute. Nutrition. All right. If you're going to make one change in your life, get your diet down. Every single person has their own metabolic needs. This is based on your ancestry. It's based on where you live in the world geographically. It's based on where you are in your life and your life stressors. There is something called metabolic typing, which is a very advanced diet type system. You can go online. It's about $100. You fill out these questions and it gives you a very specific individual foods that are best for your diet type. Paul Chek also came up with a quicker version called Primal Diet Type. Very simple. I have a free training on it. If you reach out, I'm happy to send it to you. I have a recording, I have a PDF, and it gives you a good macronutrient balance of what's best for your body. You should be eating organic food at the minimum. Now, I won't go into depth, but organic isn't as clear-cut as it used to be. It means that they're not spraying foods with certain chemicals. Now, why are these chemicals problematic? There are studies that are showing things like glyphosate cause upwards of 25 times more percent chance of causing digestive issues like leaky gut syndrome. Leaky gut syndrome is when the villi in your digestive tract open up and allow for foods to enter your bloodstream where they shouldn't. What then happens is your body reacts like they are foreign objects, which when they get into your bloodstream, in that place they are. It creates antibodies, so every time you eat these foods, they are going to respond as if it's a invader going into your body. Ideally, you can get local food as close to your house as possible. So go to farmers market, talk to them, learn about how they deal with pesticides or learn how they deal with pests when they occur. Are they spraying chemicals or are they spraying organic products? The easiest shift you can make is take out processed foods, replace them with whole foods. The white devils are sugar, flour, pasteurized dairy. You can also throw in table salt, I won't get into too much about table salt here, but there's been wars fought over salt. Salt is not the problem. The problem is your kidney's ability to move the salt through them. So you need salt in your diet, but table salt is basically a salt with no minerals. You want Himalayan salt, sea salt, Icelandic salt. These are great. I could do a whole nother slide about the issues with salt, but just starting with like Redmond's or Celtic sea salt, and that's all I'm going to say about that. It's another slide about how they're processed. We're going to go to the next slide here. What is going on? Technology. We're lagging here. Right. Sleep, sleep, sleep. If you're not sleeping, you're not healing. Sleep is there's never been a study that outcompetes sleep for any other medicine in the world. Doesn't matter if it's pharmaceutical or herbal, sleep outcompetes every single one of those studies. Get to bed by 10 p.m. Humans have been sleeping on the circadian rhythm for thousands of years, potentially millions. That means when the sun goes down, you go to sleep, or at the bare minimum, turn off the lights or get red lights. If you're on your phone at 10 p.m., your body thinks the sun is high in the sky, and it's going to impact your hormonal levels. In the morning, your cortisol is at its highest because that's going to help wake you up and get going. It drops steadily through the day. Melatonin starts rising, and that helps you go to sleep. If you have issues, turn off the screens an hour before bed. In the morning, get outside for 5-10 minutes when the sun comes up. It's going to help you get in rhythm with the circadian rhythm. There are all sorts of information about different times of the night is when your body heals different parts of your body. So, example, in Chinese medicine, 2 p.m. is when your liver is healing. And if you're waking up in those times, it might be worth looking deeper into what is going on with your whole system. Oh yeah, mouth tape. I'm not a big biohacker, but I started mouth taping about 4 or 5 years ago. My sleep improved so much that I haven't gone back. If you're breathing from your mouth versus breathing from your your nose, you're not going to be, how do I put this? Your body responds so much better to nasal breathing than mouth breathing. Read the book Breathe by James Nestor. I have it in the resource list. You'll want to do everything after reading that book to switch to nasal breathing if you breathe from your mouth. Exercise. Look, movement is medicine. Pure and simple. Your lymphatic system doesn't have a pump like the heart. The heart has a pump that moves the blood through your whole body. The lymphatic system needs your muscles. So if you're not moving, you're not exercising, your lymphatic system is going to get stagnant. Your lymphatic system is in charge of detoxing your whole body. Movement is essential. You can also overmove. So be aware of those points when you feel exhausted and ask yourself, are you overmoving and under resting? A simple practice is to check your heartbeat HRV, your heart rate variable, every morning. What you do is you put your fingers on the thumb side of your wrist. You're going to feel your radial pulse. Count each beat for 30 seconds. Multiply that by 2. That will be your heart rate variable. If it goes up 5 to 10 beats per minute in the morning, that means you are over exercising or over resting, under resting, excuse me. That is a good sign that your body needs more rest. Like I mentioned in the beginning, these principles are like a bike wheel, and each principle is a spoke. If one spoke is bent or weak, you're going to be having a bumpy ride. So you need to integrate them all into a bundle. They're daily practices meant to happen over the course of your life. They're not just shifting a day or a week. They're about shifting years in your lifetime to have these shifts take place. Small daily shifts create big shifts over time. Now, you don't have to do everything right now. There's a principle called the 80-20 principle. 80% of the time, you do the best you can, and 20% of the time, you just let yourself do what you want to do. If you need to take a break, if you want to have a cheeseburger from McDonald's or a pint of ice cream, do it. Just notice how you respond to yourself. Are you hard and judgmental when you eat that pint of ice cream? Why is that? There's nothing inherently wrong with a pint of ice cream, but when you treat yourself bad about it, that's when there becomes a conflict in your body and issues arise. So 80% of the time, do the best you can. 20% of the time, cheat. Let yourself splurge. You're going to notice over months and years of doing this practice, you're not going to want to cheat as much. It's just how it is. Like I mentioned with the gluten in the beginning, I don't want to cheat because I'm going to be in pain. I'm going to feel like crap, and I'd rather feel good. When I stick to these practices, I feel great. When those spokes start bending and becoming weak, I don't feel good, and I don't like that. So just the practice alone is motivation enough for me to continue them. I don't think twice when I drive by a McDonald's. Sometimes I have ice cream, but I get good, high quality ice cream. And before you reach for supplements or quick fixes, notice where you are out of balance. Come back into balance and then see if you need to make shifts. And if you need to take supplements, test for them. Know exactly what supplements your body needs. So often we hear somebody fixed an issue from a supplement or a quick fix or whatever it is, but is that right for you? How do you know it's right for you? Did you test for it, or is it just because it sounds like a fit? Sometimes that's enough, but supplements are expensive. You might as well know exactly which ones are best for you. And if I didn't have a call to action, I wouldn't be a business person, which I hardly am, but I try. So, if you want to go deeper, if you want to have specific guidance, if you want to have somebody help you assess and test and know exactly what you need, reach out to me. I'm happy to share more. I do one-on-one coaching. In person, I do manual therapy, Rolfing. It's fascial manipulation, helps with postural alignment. I also do lab testing. If you want to know exactly what's going on with your gut, if you want to know what's going on with the microbiome, if you want to know if you have any pathogens, heavy metal toxicities, mold exposure, reach out to me. We can run labs. We can know exactly what's going on. My website is Wandering Bear Wellness. You can schedule a free discovery call there. I have a free download on the homepage. I also, like I mentioned before, if you want to know your exact diet type, I have a free training. Reach out to me. I'm happy to send it to you. It's such a good starting point for knowing what foods are best for you. If you're eating foods that aren't for your diet type, you're going to have issues, and you might not realize it until you make the shifts and get out of that place of food sensitivities. Here's some of the resources I mentioned before. This will be this is it's a great list of things. So if you want water, if you're looking for local farms too, you can you Google local farms. There are these new websites that are coming out every day that help you get as local as possible. So from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you. If you have taken the time to get this far, thank you so much. We need more healthier people in this world. We need more good people taking up space. We need more people spreading the word of what health could look like. And we need people to start embodying it. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm an open book. I have abundance of resources I can send you. Or if you want to learn more about my work, please say something. I'm here to help.